Hi, this is BB from clutterclearinglifecoaching.com, and today I want to talk about finances, money, income, and what happens to us after we've been in a situation that only allows us to have a limited income. But there's definitely a ceiling, and there's been a ceiling for a minute. What happens to us psychologically, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually around money, physically as well, of course? Because with limited income or a fixed income, there's definitely a ceiling, and there are things that we cannot do. Because if we spend X amount of dollars on something frivolous, we will not be able to do something constructive, like pay a bill with the money that's needed for that. So, what do we do in a situation like that? When we've been under this financial ceiling for a while, and in most cases, it'll feel like it's not our own choosing. Who would choose this? Who would choose to live with a ceiling over their income, their lifestyle, their choices, what they can or can't do? No one would voluntarily put themselves in that position. But what happens after a while is that we become acclimated to it. Whatever the circumstances occurred, whatever happened, what chain of events occurred, what circumstances brought you to this, whatever happened, we have a habit as human beings of adapting to situations. We do. At first, there is resistance on every level. This is not what I want with my life. Why is this happening to me? I need more. I want more. I've got to have more. And you're all fighting, resistance, fighting, pushing, and you don't make a breakthrough because this doesn't work. It will not work. Believe me, I've tried it. I know lots of people out there, most of the coaches out there, most of these so-called gurus have tried it, and they'll tell you it doesn't work. Resistance, pushing against things, it really doesn't work. So you're just fighting your own energy. This side fighting, and it's just like this, and nobody wins and you lose. So what happens is the fight goes away and we become acclimated. We start to adapt to these new financial circumstances, albeit limited as it may be. And then, after a while of being at this level, we start to get so acclimated that we don't even want to try anymore. We start to downgrade to fit the new financial circumstance. We don't want to put an effort anymore. We don't want to do anything anymore. We've become settled and satisfied into this. We let go of a lot of dreams along the way. We let go of a lot of ambitions. We let go of a lot of needs for achievement to get to a higher level financially and in every area of your life. Because let's face it, finances covers a lot of things. Money actually makes sense in the real world. Because it's the way we trade, it's the way we barter. It's how we elevate our standard of living or choose not to. So it matters. It matters in the real world. So what happens after we get into this state of mind where we start to see it's okay to have just this ceiling. It's okay to have this limited income. It's okay. And on top of that, after a minute of doing that, what happens is we start to defend this position. We may do so unwittingly, unknowingly, but we start to defend the position because it makes sense to us, because we're mentally now downsizing and downgrading into this. And it may get worse because energy always moves. Whether you're in an upward spiral, you're achieving, you want more, or you're in a downward spiral where you're downsizing everything, that's achieving too. We're just achieving the wrong things. And don't get me wrong, I'm not here to judge you. If this is where you need to be in life, then so be it. If it's not bothering you, if it's not harming you, if you find it to be where you get the most pleasure out of life, then so be it. This is for people who have decided, well, they're becoming a little too acclimated with mentally being where they are financially, because it causes a lull in income. It causes a blockage, because we go from having more than enough to having barely enough, and sometimes even that is a stretch. So what happens here to us mentally? What is that mental shift? What is that mental change? It's called resistance. Because you will find, for those of you who will ultimately need coaches and seek out coaches, you will find something called releasing. Because they have different methods, they help for us to get to that subconscious blockage. And what it is resistance. It's almost like an energy, a pocket of energy that's there, that is now pushing that money away, blocking that money because you don't need it. And the more you convince yourself you don't need it, is the more you will agree with you. And if you have all parts of your brain on board with you, and all your energy is agreeing with you that you don't need to upgrade financially, then you're going to be in some problems, because you're going to be on that downward spiral. Because energy is always shifting, it's not going to stay stagnant for anyone. It doesn't work like that. It will ultimately keep downgrading and downsizing, and you will feel the strain eventually. So what do you do with that pocket of resistance? First, we get to the pocket of resistance, and we can use any method of releasing, and that includes EFT, NLP, that includes even a mild form of hypnosis. We have the Sedona method, which is great for getting those energies shifted. Very fast, very efficient, and very thorough. And we have visualization, meditation, visualization with meditation, and releasing, the combo, the three. It's a great technique to just release as you're visualizing. And it's called creative visualization, because it's dynamic, creative energy, not just sitting there and having an image form. You are deliberately creating in your mind's eye, your third eye, what is it that you want to accomplish. And any resistance that comes up, it's gone. So that pocket of resistance is not good. And once you start to feel that resistance in your body, where you think of money and you ultimately, you start to feel that inward, like it's almost like a repulsion, a feeling of repulsion towards it. Like your mind, there's a pile of money. Imagine, if you will, a pile of money somewhere, and your mind doesn't want that anymore. It's looking for a lesser pile, a smaller pile, a few bucks as opposed to a big pile of money. That's resistance. That means mentally you can't handle that right now. You're going to push that away from you. You can attract it because you can see it, you can achieve it, but you're feeling, subconsciously your mind is feeling you can't handle that right now. That's not a good place to be in. So with that being said, if this is happening to you and you really want to break out of this mental financial downsizing rut that you might be in. Get yourself a therapist, get yourself a coach, get yourself somebody who actually specializes in breaking these patterns and releasing these blocks of energy that's resisting the kind of life that we really truly want. And if you need my help with this, I will put the link to my website in the description, which is clutterclearinglifecoaching.com. Clearing out the clutter at clutterclearinglifecoaching.com, which is exactly that gunk, that pocket of resistance to living the life that you really want, so that you stop downgrading and downsizing and start on an upward spiral and upgrading. So look over my website. It's just a handful of the tools that I offer, and put your phone number. I will call you as soon as I'm able to, and we will discuss a plan to get you to the next stage of your beautiful life. Until my next video, keep striving, be on an upward spiral. Look out for these telltale signs of if you feel like you're starting to downgrade mentally. Get yourself a coach, and peace.